we're heading into week 3. They got the weekend off. They'll go back on Tuesday. They'll finish it up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then they go to mandatory mini camp where everybody's showing up. You'll probably get George Pickens back. You'll probably get TJ Watt back. I shouldn't say probably. You'll definitely get both of those guys back. Cam Hayward, we don't know what's going to happen yet, but I would imagine he's on the field for mini camp. I don't think he's looking to lose some money by not being there. What are you looking for when we get back there on Tuesday next week?
Yeah, I'm looking for literally anyone to kind of show out and separate themselves in that slot cornerback conversation. Like we talked about a little bit earlier. I mean, Anthony Averett hasn't looked great. Beanie Bishop hasn't really done anything to stand out either. I mean, like if I had to pick a starting slot corner right now, it'd probably be like Jalen Elliott or something, which I don't feel confident about at all.
And he honestly, he hasn't looked bad.
Right,
it hasn't looked good, but hasn't looked bad.
Right, like he's been the best of those slot corner guys, throughout OTAs, and I don't know about you, that doesn't feel great to me. So I want someone else to push him a little bit. I want someone to separate themselves. I want someone to not just be kind of the best person out there. I want someone to be, actively good. I want someone to start making some plays, to stick with some of these speedy guys that they're facing in the slot, the Scotty Millers, the Calvin Austins, things like that. It's a tough position. I know, like, in weeks like this, you're going to get mixed and matched and moved around, and guys are going to be facing, a Scotty Miller one day who's going to burn him with speed, and then you're going to face a Van Jefferson the next day who's got a little bit of size on him, and you got to worry about that. But you need someone who's versatile, and I just want someone to step up, find their footing, be a little bit more, impressive. I want a little bit more from that cornerback stream, specifically the slot space. I want someone to step up there and emerge as kind of a front runner.
Yep, I agree. And even if, to be honest, I don't care if it's Anthony Everett. I don't care if it's Beanie Bishop. I just want it to be anybody. Like if it's Jalen Elliott, it's Jalen Elliott. Like that's okay. I'll push that narrative. Like if he's worthy of being the guy that needs to be talked about, we'll talk about him because that's where they are. Like there's nobody in that room right now. It should have been Anthony Everett, but I mean, again, taking years off football, that's tough. Like dealing with injuries, that's tough. Coming back, that's tough. An undrafted guy, I get it. Beanie Bishop he's got all the hype around him, and I think he's got a ton of potential. But we've said it right from the jump. You cannot look at an undrafted guy. If we're talking about Zach Frazier having to compete with a guy who's never like played center naturally in his career, Beanie Bishop should not be the guy that we're like, okay, he's definitely going to win the job here. Like nobody should have those expectations. I agree. I just want anybody to emerge, even if it's if you want to put Darius Rush down there, cool. Yeah. If you want to put DeMonte KZ down there, cool. If Jalen Elliott's the guy, cool. I don't really care. I just think the Steelers need to kind of find that spot because it's clearly their biggest issue on defense, I would say right now. And one that, I mean, you could wait it out and see who's out there, but there are options now. So if you don't have an answer, learn that you don't have an answer and, build competition in a different way. I agree. Mine was going to be, how good does Darius Rush continue to look at in week 3, but I kind of feel like I said that in week 2. So I'll switch it out. To be honest, I want to see the offensive line, which you don't get like a really good look at, but I kind of want to see some sort of formation forming. I want to see like right now, Troy Fautano is playing right tackle, then he's playing left tackle. Broderick Jones playing left tackle, and then he's playing right tackle. Like I kind of want to see it come into hey, this is what's going to happen because we've talked about this every single year is, okay, you can't be bouncing guys around all the time. And then the week before the season, you decide, hey, that's your starter. That's your guy. Okay, this is the position you're going to play. You need to let these guys naturally fit into a role. And I don't care if Troy Fautano's got to compete with Broderick Jones on the right side, or if Broderick Jones has to compete with Dan Moore on the left side, or however you want to make it happen. I don't care. I just want to see those guys start to, hey, for a full week, this is the spot that you're playing, and we'll go from there. We'll build from there because I think that'll do wonders. I mean, we said, you joked about it yesterday. Justin Fields was running around the field like crazy, trying to avoid some dude, and there's a lineman just sitting there, nobody in front of him. There's 7 defenders in the backfield, and he's just, blocking nobody. And that's just like, that's what's happening. Like you're watching team drills and you're watching guys like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are running for their lives half the time. And I would like to see the offensive line. I get that it's too early to put pads on and judge these guys. That's okay. You could start to kind of build that relationship and that chemistry now because that goes so far with the offensive line. And I think the earlier you do it, the better.
Yeah, versatility is great, but we need some guys to settle into some positions, and we need to have some continuity so these guys can develop some chemistry. I completely agree. There have been times where Russ and Justin have been really running for their lives out there, and it's been cool to see them use their athleticism a little bit, but it is not ideal. So let's get Troy settled into one place. Let's find our center. Let's just figure this stuff out now so guys can start building continuity and chemistry, because there are some new faces there. There's some young guys there. We're going to need to get it all ironed out before week 1. And I think that the earlier you can start that process, the better. It's not something that I want dragging way into. I mean, you would hope that they start to figure it out a little bit by minicamp. You definitely don't want it dragging well into training camp. So the sooner the better.
Yeah, I agree. And I was talking to to people out in Tennessee the other day, and just having conversations like, hey, how's OTAs going? Good. How about you? Blah, blah, blah. And we got into the conversation of like the rookie offensive lineman, because they drafted JC Latham, and they've already moved him to left tackle. And they've said like, this is the spot he's going to learn and compete at. And we believe that the quicker we can do that, the better. And I think the Steelers are in the same boat. Like, we have the conversation of, oh, well, Kevin Dotson leaves for LA and he plays his natural position and he plays so well. And, James Daniels, how many times can you bounce him around? Nate Herbig's now playing center. Spencer Anderson doesn't have a position, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. And, here it is. Okay. Here you have Broderick Jones and you have Troy Fautanu. They can play both sides of the offensive line. Pick them. Pick the side, develop the side. If Dan Moore starts, I get that. But, like, let's be realistic about the situation and stop halting the inevitable, because you're pushing it further out. Every day, every week that passes that Troy Fautanu, who's playing both sides of the line, is another week where he doesn't get comfortable in one side of the line. And I think now is important.
I was going to say that's, not to put too fine a point on it, but you're not helping him. You're not helping anyone by, kind of, he's got to earn it, but you got to throw him into the fire at some point, and that's what I want to see.
Yep, I agree.